I didn't shed a tear. Not when I packed my desk into cardboard boxes. Not when I slid my access card across the receptionist's counter. Not even when his father patted my shoulder the way you dismiss a loyal dog after a family picnic. I simply smiled and said, "She'll be great with the clients," as though I truly meant it. They thought I was handling it too quietly, too calmly. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is the pause before the storm decides where to strike. For 3 years, I managed their most valuable accounts, the generational wealth, the contracts older than the firm itself, the clients who dialed me directly instead of the main line. I was always the first one to arrive, the last to leave. I answered calls at 4 a.m., patched up every crisis while they played poker in the back room. I built the relationships. I earned their trust. I made the company money. I made him look competent. And then his father, my father-in-law, handed my position to a 26-year-old with half my intelligence and a curated Instagram feed. She wasn't chosen for skill. She was the daughter of one of his poker buddies. Fresh from a corporate strategy seminar, she still couldn't define EBITDA. No one even told me officially. I realized when she wheeled in a bubblegum pink swivel chair and casually asked me which drawer contained the client files. That evening, my husband Mark sat across the kitchen table chewing his dinner like nothing had changed. "They just wanted someone new," he muttered. "Someone new," I repeated. My voice stayed level. My hands didn't tremble. But later that night, as he slept, I stood by the kitchen window mapping out my plan, not out of rage, but from something colder, sharper. A desire to set things right. The truth about running elite accounts is that it's never just about numbers. It's about people. I knew which client was weeks away from filing for divorce, which one sipped bourbon alone after hours, which would gamble $1 million on a promising whisper, and which would sue you over the wrong greeting. They trusted me. Not the firm. Not the brand. And I knew exactly how to move them. Over the next few weeks, I started reaching out. Just polite check-ins. No bitterness. No gossip. Simple offers of help, not through the firm, but privately. Some declined. But a few said yes. And I didn't need them all. One in particular mattered most. Chenworth Holdings, the crown jewel. I had secured them during a brutal merger year, guided them through storms, learned their rhythms. Their portfolio carried an entire quarter's revenue. They were also notoriously impatient. So, I waited. On the morning it all unraveled, I wasn't at the office. I was at home sipping coffee, scrolling through messages from the new consultancy I had quietly launched 3 weeks earlier. The branding was modest, the website plain. But the client list? Strategic. Loyal. Ready. At 9:42 a.m., Tara, the so-called replacement, took the call. Chenworth Holdings was pulling out. She froze. I know this because Naomi from HR texted me, "WTF? She looks like she's seen a ghost." 2 more clients bailed. Then 4. By lunch, the firm was bleeding. Phones rang non-stop. Tara, who didn't know the difference between hedging forward and fiscal exposure, broke down crying in the stairwell. Another message buzzed in, "Mark, did you have anything to do with this?" I didn't reply. Not then. That evening I returned, not to grovel, but to close the chapter. Mark was pacing outside the boardroom, sweat bleeding through his collar, tie half loosened, moving like a trapped animal. Inside sat his father, face red, lips pressed tight. Tara was beside him, mascara streaked across her cheeks like war paint. "You orchestrated this," Mark hissed when he saw me. "You stole them." I tilted my head, my voice flat and cold. "They came to me. I didn't ask." "You're destroying everything we built," he snapped. "No," I cut in, my tone sharp as glass. "You destroyed it the moment you let him hand my job away like a party favor. This is just gravity correcting itself." I walked into the boardroom. His father didn't speak. He only stared at me as if I were the ghost of something he thought he had buried. I placed a single envelope on the table. Inside were signed contracts, every major client, all legal, all airtight. "Why?" Tara whispered, her voice barely audible. I looked at her, not with hatred, but with clarity. "Because trust isn't inherited," I told her. "It's earned. And you never earned it." I left the room without looking back. Mark followed me to the parking lot, grabbed my arm under the flickering streetlights. "They're saying I should have stopped this," he said, desperation cracking his voice. I met his eyes for the first time in weeks. "You were supposed to be my partner. Instead, you watched them gut me and stayed silent." He opened his mouth, searching for words, but I was already walking away. I left him standing there, small and broken, swallowed by the dark. That was 6 weeks ago. Now, I have a new office, lean, focused, born from fire and truth. My clients call me directly. They know my name. And Mark? He's back at his father's house. The firm is collapsing. Layoffs, lawsuits, chaos. Tara's gone. Rumor says she's selling skincare on Instagram now. Funny how fast empires fall when the queen decides she's done playing nice. And me? I'm not bitter. I'm free.